Good morning, good people. I hope everyone is doing well. Usually I would do a stock review around this time when the market opened between 8:30 and 9, but something else is on my mind. And by the way, the market is not doing so well. Here's my warning to you guys. If you are easily offended, I advise you not to watch this video. Okay? There's going to be a lot of controversial things I may say, things you may not agree with, very biased and very opinionated from my point of view. Now, everybody has their definition, their meaning of Black Reconstruction or the new Black Reconstruction. One of the reasons why Financial Literacy 101 came about is because of money. You ever heard the old Lock song? I think it was a Lock song or it was another song. Money, power, respect. No one never recognizes a broke person unless they do something phenomenal, right? Unless they do something phenomenal. Like you save somebody out of a burning car, you go dive in a river or somewhere and you save somebody. But first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the respect. That's usually how it is, right? No one knew Jeff Bezos when he was working outside of his garage selling books, saying that his company was going to be a technology company that sell books, but not a book company that happens to deal with technology. The new Black Reconstruction. So I want you, first and foremost, to start to deconstruct your mind from what I'm about to say. And I want you to look at it outside of the matrix, outside of the box, outside of the media. Because right now we are living in the matrix. You may not understand what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna get there. The reason why I say we're living in the matrix is because our minds are influenced, brainwashed, and our perceptions are skewed. It's not transparent to us. It's very vague to us because we have all these different sources of information entering our eyes. We understand imagery is one of the key sources of brainwashing. And I'm not talking about in a way that, oh, you're going to be some mind zombie. No. What I am talking about is in a sense of you're feeding all this information, but you're not doing any research for yourself. The new Black Reconstruction. So now that I got all the hocus pocus stuff out of the way, let's talk about some money. As you are noticing, blacks, whites, Asians are getting together for the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay, and this has nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter organization. I'm talking about the movement. Let's talk about it. Now, you may have some divisive Caucasians out there and say, well, all lives matter. Well, I agree, all lives do matter. But right now, we're talking about Black Lives Matter because, let's take, for instance, we're in a community. We all live in some sort of community. Right now, and for the last 400 years, how many years anybody wants to put on it, the black house in that neighborhood has been on fire, not the White House. Not the white houses where white people live. See, we would like to go, it's kind of like we call the fire department, but you tell the fire department to put water on your house that is not burning. But my house is burning because I'm the black guy. They fail to recognize and understand. But here's the bigger picture. It's about life. But the number one thing that this is all about, it's about money. See, the things that occurred to our ancestors, okay, I'm talking to African descendant people. Hopefully I have white people watching as well and Hispanic, so you can get a little bit of information. I'm not too well knowledge, so I'll put that disclaimer out there, but I know a little bit about a lot. You get what I'm saying? But I'll say this. The atrocity that happened to our ancestors, and every time I bring this up, I will get some sort of uneducated, divisive white person to tell me, well, your people sold your people into slavery. They traded your people into slavery. You know what? I don't care right now how we got here. The problem is we're not understanding what all of this is about. We don't understand how all the buildings and all the marches and all the protests, what this is really about. It's about money. It's about money. Now, granted, you have Breonna Taylor Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd. That George Floyd was the straw that broke the camel's back. We understand that. He's the one kind of incited all this, but we need to know the base cause of it all, and it's about money. Slavery was about money. Building this country was about money. America got filthy rich off the backs of blacks. Even after modern day slavery, even during Jim Crow, they got rich off the backs of blacks. And nobody will like to recognize this, because here's the thing. When you start talking about reparations, your white counterpart, your white friend, your white associate, or maybe even your Asian friend. And here's the thing, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I have white friends that I'm good with. We don't have any issues. And I have Asian friends, same thing. But here's the thing. It's much more than what you see, or as the Transformers would say, it's more than what meets the eye. It runs deeper than that. This is all about money. It started all about money. Now, granted, we're talking about police brutality that has nothing to do with money. The way they treat black people, the way we're disenfranchised, the way white systematic racism doesn't allow us to get jobs and build careers and stop us from getting bank loans. But at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about money, because you know what? America needs a lower class. And guess who are the lower class? Blacks and Hispanics. Some whites, don't get me wrong, some whites, but mostly blacks and Hispanics, because we need people to do the dirty jobs. Yeah, we need people to do the dirty jobs. And that's what people are not understanding. This is about money. If you look at T.I.'s new movement, if you go to usorelse.org. Sign up for that petition, where he is calling out the Lords of London. Okay, the Lords of London is not spelled L-O-R-D-S, it's spelled L-L-O-D-S. Lloyds of London. Lloyds of London, where they were an insurance company who got rich by ensuring that slaves made it over here. And then when slaves died on the slave ships, they were paying the potential slave masters or the people who were shipping them. They're worth $57 billion. This is about money. This is the Black Reconstruction. You will get your white counterparts and they will say, why the hell are these people burning down buildings and they supposed to be protesting? Why are they looting and rioting? Now, first and foremost, my hat goes off to the genuine white people who are out there helping black people to push their agenda and for equal rights, equal justice, and all of that above. I take my hat off to you guys, because you are still risking your life and helping us out, because hey, we're only 13 or 14% of the population around the US. So we are a major minority. Hispanics are more than us. Hispanics are around 15 to 16, anywhere to 17%. And those are the ones who are documented. This is about money. See, the Black Reconstruction is more than what you guys may simply comprehend on the surface of things, because it's a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper than that. We understand that the only thing America understands is what? Money. When you start messing with people's money, then you get their attention. So when I hear people say, well, why you guys burning down buildings? Why you guys doing this? Have you noticed Martin Luther King was peaceful? He got thrown in jail, he got beat up, and he got killed. But when you start burning down business, you get their attention, don't you? Because it costs money. Because Americans, mostly Caucasian Americans, and this is my opinion, not all, because again, I got white friends. What do? They care about property more than people. They care about property more than people. This is what I want you guys to understand. This is about money, guys. Black Reconstruction. That's why I teach financial literacy. Because even in a racist country like this, even LeBron James had the N-word written on his home. He had the N-word written on his home. But I can tell you this. When you have some money in your pocket, there is a little wiggle room of freedom for you. I tell people this all the time. I don't believe that black people in America are citizens. I don't believe it. Now, granted, we may have some of the same rights as other citizens, but I believe that we're residents. I don't believe that we're free. I believe that we were let go from bondage. Why do I believe these things? If you created and wrote the Constitution, then you wrote the amendments, why do you have to write an additional amendments to let people know that all people are this and they should have the right to vote and they should, I mean, why? Why do you have to write additional things? That's because the original Constitution wasn't written for black people. And here's another thing. I want you guys to go out and research the entire national anthem and how slavery is even in that. See, when you hear people around the internet and they tell you that white supremacy is ingrained in America throughout every entity of its being, I agree with that 100%. But some of you, African Americans, aka black people, may not have experienced some of the same things as others. Now, I'm from Washington, D.C. inner city, where majority of the city growing up was 70% black. Even during that time, I experienced police injustice, not brutality. Thank God I didn't get my butt whipped, but police injustice, where I used to drive up to Upper 16th Street. If anybody from DC, Upper 16th Street Northwest, where it's majority white, because the rest of the city was black. It was Georgetown, Upper 16th Street, and Adams Morgan was majority white when I was growing up. And if you was in those neighborhoods, sometimes you'll get stopped like, hey, why are you around in this neighborhood? Because you were black in a black city. Think about that. Racial profiling. And you can go, and here's the thing about that people don't understand about white supremacy in business. Businesses are now getting smarter how they handle African Americans applying for jobs. Let me tell you why. At first, it was just blatant. You're black, you're not working here, right? That was too easy. Oh, now the public is going to culture cancer us, what they call it, cancel culture, where they just cancel that organization. They boycott that organization. So what they're doing now is they say, okay, well, African Americans, they make up 13% of the population. In this state, they make up 10% of the population. Out of this state, how many educated blacks with this sort of degree? So we got 3%. So in our company, we should only have 50 black people. I'm telling you, it's all about money. It's all about the numbers. That's why you guys have to do your research. Because I'm trying to break it down to you, because it's more than what you think it is. And again, I want to put the disclaimer out there. All white people are not racist, and all black people are not dummies. That's what Lil Baby said. I love that new song, The Bigger Picture. He was really speaking some stuff. And guess what else he said? He basically told people he's very intelligent and he knows more, but he won't say more because they'll kill him. Think about that. Anytime somebody says something more than what they should say, what happens to them? They get killed, they get assassinated, or they get canceled, aka Nick Cannon. They get canceled. At no time during Nick Cannon's speech did I ever thought Nick Cannon was an anti-Semite. Never. This is about money. This is about control. Because what people understand in the world, if you control the money, you control the people, right? If you control the money, you control the people. That's why you have all these people on the internet talking about financial independency, building your own, doing your own, having side hustle, keeping yourself afloat, etc. Because if you don't, then there's people, right? There's people who can control you with money. New Black Reconstruction. What's more important in America? I want you to tell me. Is it the property or the people? Is it the property or the people? What does all these statues have to do with anything? All these statues being torn down, there's symbolisms of racism. Like, you know, I really thought about it about a month ago when this stuff, you know, when they started really tearing down statues and monuments, etc., how deep this thing really goes. And I never really thought of the way that people was portraying it, because it really doesn't make any sense at all. Why we are celebrating Robert E. Lee, we're celebrating the Confederate flag and symbols of white supremacy and racism in America, but then when people are touted about it, when people are approached about it, they talk about Southern pride. Who's Southern pride? There's black people who live in the South. Who's Southern pride? I don't know any other country in the world who celebrates the losers of their Civil War. I don't know any of them. I don't know any of them. I don't know any other country in the world who had a Civil War who celebrate the losers of their Civil War, where they have monuments, they have school, they have bridges, they have highways, they have street of the losers. And then Mississippi, they took it above and beyond, because if you know anything about Mississippi, if you look up, was it the 3630? I forgot the exact terminology with that. They celebrate the losers and their flag. I'm not understanding it. See, if you don't believe that white supremacy is ingrained in every being, every organization, every entity of America, then you are blind. See, I was listening to Candace Owens, and people calling her all sorts of derogatory names. I don't want to call my sister any names, right? And I believe she's married to a Caucasian guy. I'm not saying he's influencing her. She's a very intelligent, beautiful black lady, but she's lost. She's lost. That's it. She's lost. And some people are like, well, she's intelligent. She should know. She should know this. No, she's lost. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and I said, I remember dating this black girl in DC. She was darker than me, and that's pretty dark. And your shade, I know, doesn't have nothing to do with it, but she told me I was the first black guy she ever dated. And I said, you know, why is that? Well, you know how black guys are, you know, they're, you know, a lot of them don't have education, don't have nothing good going for themselves. And I'm like, excuse me? And, you know, I'm like, she had the audacity, she had the gall to approach and say those things. I said, well, why do you think that? Why do you think that a lot of black men are uneducated who are incarcerated? Do you believe that every black man in jail or who doesn't have a certain level of intelligence is by his own means, by his own thing, like it's his fault? Well, you know, and then, you know, prior to that, she told me that she grew up in the suburbs around white people. And some of you in your mind is already judging, but again, she was lost. See, when I talk to other black people outside of DC, in DC, throughout the year, they taught us black history. They taught us black history. When I went to Colorado, when I went to Washington, and I'm living in Texas, they don't teach black people black history. They don't. They don't. They teach them American history. Well, unfortunately, America, blacks were part of history too, but they don't want to teach you that. You know what they want to teach you? They want to teach you Martin Luther King. They want to teach you George Washington Carver. They don't want to teach you everything else. You know why? Because that's going to give you a sense of your history. That's going to give you a positive image of yourself. What about Garrett A. Morgan, the one who made a version of the stoplight in America? who also created the first gas mask. What about him? What about Charles Drew? What about Charles Drew? People need to look up these names and understand where you come from, who you derive from. You are from a powerful people, and understand that one of the major reasons for slavery was for money and control. The new Black Reconstruction. You have to understand that there's Black people around you who are not going to agree with your sentiment, with your ideas and your thoughts about how America has done wrong to Black. See, and they were like us. They were like us, like, okay, well, yeah, you have been struggling, you have been doing this, but what are you now going to do to get through that? Why do we always have to talk about the struggle? We have to talk about the struggle. But you're right. There needs to be a plan to move forward. But you have to talk about the struggle, because you have to know where you come from. You have to know what your people have been going through. You have to know what your people are now going through. You have to know these things, because if you don't know these things, you don't know what the plan you should make. It's all about money. And that's why you have to have your head on correctly and learn about this money. Learn about how to make your own money. How about this? Learn how to use their systems for your gain. Learn how to use their system for your gain. Right now, there's a whole movement going on. There's a whole movement going on. I know a lot of you are not supporting the Black Lives Matter organization, and I totally understand. If you go to the Black Lives Matter organization's website and you read what they're about, you may change your stance as well. But there's a movement that Black Lives Matter, and you should support that. I know it's different. I know it's different. And we have some of our white and Asian brothers and sisters out there who are genuine. And the reason why I keep saying genuine, because there's a lot of them out there for nefarious reasons. Okay? You had those Antifa characters out there, and you also have some white supremacist people out there. Why? Why are they out there with us, marching and protesting? But they're throwing Molotov cocktails. They're breaking up city streets. They're defacing and burning property. You know why? To deflect from the real issues. To deflect from the real issues. Because the one thing that certain news organizations will love to do is to demonize the movement of Black Lives Matter. See, they won't say Black people. They won't say Black people. They will say Black Lives Matter, the movement, the organization. They encompass it both. That these are radical and hateful groups. Because we have other people out there that's non-Black, and probably some Black too, don't get me wrong, who are destroying property, who are rioting, who are looting, who is putting a stain, who's putting a veil over the entire movement. This is the time that we support those who are fighting for the masses of Black people. This is the time. Because we had a few moments in history like this and we stopped. But now we have enough people, we have enough groups of different ethnics to support us in this movement, and we can't let it die. When you start seeing rappers begin to rap about it, because that's how hip hop first started. Let's understand that. Some of the first hip hop artists were awake. They were woke, as we say it today. There were conscious Black people speaking about police brutality, the atrocities of slavery, and how we're being treated in America. That's what we need to understand about hip hop. And now they're returning to their roots. A lot of the rappers are returning to their roots. We can't let this moment die, ladies and gentlemen. So I mean, go out there and support these positive groups that are supporting us. And if you have white, Asian, Hispanic friends and they have questions, don't shun them because they question you. Educate them. Educate them, because we need everybody to help us. See, a lot of times you may think you can do things on your own, like we can do it all out by ourselves. But if we're trying to get a piece of this America that our ancestors have bought and fought with, we're the minority. We're going to need a little bit of help. We're going to need a little bit of help. And it's good to educate people why you're saying what you're saying, why you're doing what you're doing. If you shun your white, Asian, Hispanic brothers and sisters, you may lose them forever. And we may never have the support. I'm not saying beg for their support. I'm not saying lean on them for their support. I'm saying if they ask you and they come to you and they ask you, what is this all about? And you tell them. Because at the end of the day, we all got stereotypes. We all got prejudice. We do. At one point growing up in DC, where I thought all white people were racist. I was wrong. I think that's incredibly ignorant and stupid that I believe that an entire race of people are racist. But I'm intelligent enough today that everybody have their own stereotypes about everybody, no matter your ethnic or color. This is about money. This is the new Black Reconstruction. And here's the thing. You may not agree with what I'm about to say, but it's the truth. Sometimes we like to go in, you're like, hey, I'm going to renovate my house. But what do you still have there? You still have the foundation of the old house. You still have the foundation of the old house. So as as a lot of rappers will say, this new song called Burn, right? This new song Burn. I love this new song called Burn. You got to burn it down in order to rebuild. You have to burn it down in order to rebuild. And I'm not going to say what you have to burn down, but you have to burn it down in order to rebuild. You know, sometimes they come in, I forgot, with the wrecking ball, and they knock the entire building off. They destroyed the foundation, and then they rebuild up. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about when they put the little poles and I don't know what you call it around the building, and they clean it up, they fix it up. No. We need total reconstruction, meaning burn from the base, destroy from the base, knock the whole entire system down, and rebuild. I don't mean people should go out and burn every property, every building. No, I'm not talking about that at all. I am not talking about that at all. But there's a spirit, there is an entity, there is a system that needs to be destroyed, that needs to be burned down. Total reconstruction. And we need everybody. We need everybody in on it. And let me tell you, I'm going to end with this. I'm going to end with this point right here. I am tired of Black people fighting against Black people because we don't agree on all points. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Listen, I'm going to tell you what a lot of people in the world get right. I'm going to tell you what the Jews get right, what the Indians get right, the East Indians get right. I'm going to tell you what white people get right. We may not agree on politics. We may agree on religion. We may not agree on types of food. But the one thing we agree on is what we want for all of our people, and they fight for it. And they fight for it. That is what they do. We should pick one thing, like these are things we want, one plan, and we all support that one plan. Because if we don't, then we don't have the power. The one thing that all those groups I just named have, they have unity. They have unity, not uniformity. Okay, let's get that right. Not uniformity. They have unity. That's what we need to understand. They have unity. What I'm talking about, unity, is when we as a people are together. Uniformity is just that we're all wearing the same clothes. So hopefully this message hits the hearts and minds that everybody who watches it, no matter you're Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or Indian, or any of the above, anything I missed, Native American, Pacific Islander, I hope you understand this is much bigger than race. It's about money, it's about support, and it's about getting together as a people. No matter your color, when you see wrong, when you see discrimination, and someone is hurting someone, discriminating upon someone, putting people through chaos, certain atrocities because of the color of their skin, then you should join them. Then you should join them because we are all equal. I don't understand how they give us credit as being the first people on earth, that everyone was essentially derived and created out of Africa. But now we're the shit of the earth. We're the dirt of the earth. We're the dumbest. We're animals. We're all these other derogatory names that people call us. I don't get it. I don't get it. Family, you guys are beautiful. You are intelligent. No matter who you are, where you are, and no matter where you are in your life, I know that you will get through. Not only will you survive, but you will strive. And again, here's one more note. If your white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian counterparts come to you and ask you questions about the movement, about your race, and about what you have been through, please take a moment and educate them. And if you're not, let them know you may not know everything, but you know this. Give them examples of what you've been through and tell them how this country has taken our people through certain things. You may not know everything, but you may know enough for them to understand and to sympathize, empathize, and support you in your walk. This is Financial Literacy 101. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, I encourage you to subscribe. Learn money and be inspired. I'm out.